anniversary Silver Spur Trade Show, Gun and Blade Show. Glad to be out here today. We'll keep up with everything going on around Texas Tech and the NFL draft, but we got a lot of great guests that we're going to visit with today. So glad you're out here wherever you may be. And if you're out here at the Civic Center today, drop on by, say hello. We're going to be here for the next hour going live in Raiderland. So we've got Texas Tech, baseball, softball in weather delay, rain delay. Some storms came through this morning during the lunchtime hour. Baseball still scheduled for 2. Softball has been pushed back for 3. Huge series for them. The NFL draft goes along. And Deion Sanders' son has been selected as many times in this draft as I have been so far. 0. And we are into the 5th round. I think we're into the Taj Brooks territory. 1 Red Raider taken last night, Caleb Rogers, in the 3rd round, going to the Las Vegas Raiders. So that's the latest in the world of sports. But we're out here at the Gun and Blade Show, and we're going to be with you today till 2 o'clock. All right, are we ready to get this thing going? Let's do it in 3, in 2. Good afternoon, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. I'm Ryan Hyatt, TheRaiderland.com. Glad you're with us today, wherever you're joining us on Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media. Maybe you're on our YouTube channel, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland, or our Facebook Live page, same thing, Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland. We are happy to be out and about today. It's been a while since we have been to one of the Silver Spur trade shows. This is the 20th anniversary. We're going to visit with the director, Kim Sansom, here in just a little bit. And some other guests, hey, and you never know who's going to show up. That's the fun thing about doing things like that. Sound good, look okay. Yeah, I lost my lighting here for some reason here just a few minutes ago. So, I guess I should have brought a light, or maybe could have got Chad Hasty from KFYO. He's out here too. He could have held the light for me during the first hour, because we're going to steal all of his audience. No doubt. Obviously, all your communication brought to you by United Supermarkets and Market Street, great supporters of Texas Tech. You can count on them for whatever what do we got? We got graduation coming up, Mother's Day coming up, Father's Day, Market Street ready for you. And brought to you by Charles Middleton and Son, the ultimate in real estate for farm and ranch in West Texas and beyond. If you're looking at buying some farm or ranch acreage, or maybe you're looking at selling some of your own, you need to talk to Middleton and Son. They got a great Facebook page, great website. It's just really cool to go on there and see what kind of different properties they have and everything else. So that's the drill of the day. We're going to be here until about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Glad to be out here. We're going to have some great guests today, tell you about some of the vendors and get you squared away as the day goes along. And here she is. She's been on a couple of times this week. Now live and in person, Kim Sansom, founder, director, grand poobah, anything that needs to be done of the Silver Spur trade shows. So glad you're here today. We're glad we're here.
Oh,
this is
I'm
fun.
Glad you're here. Yeah, I am excited about this.
This is very dangerous. Probably should have left my ATM in the truck or in the house today. So this is the 20th show. Come on out. 20th year, not 20th show, but 20th year. Yeah. And I want to go forward in reverse.
Okay.
Take me back to year 1 and what it was like the day before the show was going to start. And you're looking around going, I have no idea what's going to happen. What's going to happen? What was that like?
Year 1. Scary.
Yeah.
This is like gambling, literally, because we put out all the money, all the advertising, all the everything, and you don't know what's going to happen. And I want my vendors to do good. That's so important to me.
What was the impetus to create this, to do this? I mean, it's one thing to go to them. It's another one to say, yeah, I think we can run one of these.
Well, I actually have been in gun shows since 1989.
Oh, wow.
Now, that dates me. February 1989 was my first gun show. Fell into doing this part of it, more the administrative, and it's my niche. Yeah. It's my calling. I love what I do, and it comes very natural to me. So that isn't it. It's the nerve-wracking, hoping this show turns out and the vendors do good.
When or which show or maybe what time period it was when you said, wow, we've really nailed this. We got this thing going. People love it. Vendors can't wait to come to Lubbock. I mean, this exhibit hall is full. There's no real space anywhere else for anybody else. We had to kind of sneak in over here in a corner. What year was it that you guys realized that we got a home run?
Well, I think coming into year 5, we were beginning to see the okay, we're progressing, we're growing, things are good. And, like he was asking me here in the Civic Center, how big was it or
Yeah.
what? Well, we fill up this whole entire exhibit hall now and have a waiting list. We started out less than half of this room for years, or for the first few years. And they put a curtain up, our vendors would come drive in, and it's just like, wow, look at all that wasted space. But, here we are now, 20 years later, going strong. So I'm going to say around 8 or 9. I mean, it's like, all right, we got this, we got our names. I love when people walk up and say, oh, yeah, I've heard about y'all. Y'all shows are good. We run a good show.
Well, it says Gun and Blade Show, but there's so much more than that out here today. So let's talk about some of the vendors and what people can expect to find today and tomorrow when they make their way out.
Okay, our knife sharpeners here. We got knives of all kinds. Of course, we do cater to, we like the women. We got guns for women, concealed carry purses, jewelry. Gosh, there's a lot of different gift items in that manner.
And it is a trade show, so that means you can bring in some of your own
Yes.
things. Walk them through the process, maybe, though, if they've never done that before, they're watching us right now, and they're thinking, I might come out this weekend. What do they need to know before they get out here?
Yes, especially a gun more than anything. I mean, we have people that bring knives and swords, as we talked about the other day, but a gun, especially if you want to buy, sell, trade, or even buy accessories works. We have our optics people and people that work on ARs and can help you accessorize and do stuff. Just make sure they're unloaded, and we have someone at the door check them, strap them, because safety is number one.
Are there any vendors that have been here all 20 years?
Yes, there are several that have been here.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
Maybe like a little badge or something,
Oh,
some sort of like
That's a
really,
good idea.
20 consecutive years or something, silver spur.
What?
Like a silver spur. See, I'm making new work for everybody.
I like that idea.
The silver.
Thank you.
There we go. That's what we do. We create work for other people. All right. So the hours today, the hours tomorrow. What are we looking
We're
at?
here 9 until 5 today and 10 to 5 tomorrow. We'll be back the end of July, and then we have another show the second weekend of October here at the Civic Center.
I just thought of this. How often do you walk out of here with new things that you found, that you purchased, that you go, yeah, just go ahead and set that aside. I'll come back and get it later. That's spoken for.
Don't tell any of the vendors.
Because you were seeing them load in, you get it before anyone else.
Well, there have been a few. It took a lot in the beginning when I started doing shows. I would go home with a carload.
I would lose money.
I do not walk around anymore, and I'm sorry, vendors. I love you guys, but I just don't. I can't, because there's so much stuff to look and shop and buy, and I, of course, I love supporting everybody. So.
Yeah. Want to remind everybody too, concession stand right over there to our left. That's open, fully functional. If you come out here and you get some of the munchies, or you can just go to one of the vendors that's selling beef jerky and just walk around and eat beef jerky, which I think that's permissible. Yes. At least in America, I think we can still eat beef jerky when we want to.
Oh, we love jerky.
For now, at least. I don't know. We'll check back. I know you got stuff to do. We're going to visit with some great folks coming up during the show. I'm looking forward to visiting with Kelly Mormon from Block, Stock, and Blade. I was looking at his knives and the custom work that he does. So
yes,
that's going to be fun.
He's our knife sharpener also.
Official knife sharpener, and he was sharpening knives just moments ago.
Yes,
Real and in action, not without a net. I mean, he's a professional. Don't try this at home. Come back by later?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and I'm going to go get some of your people.
All right. Bring us our people. We'll be here. All right, you guys can get in on the United Supermarkets chat line as well today. And again, if you're making your way out here, we're going to be here till 2 live. So we want to hear from you. We're keeping up with everything else that's going on. We're in round 5 of the NFL draft. The Vikings had the number 1 pick in the round, and they went with Tylen Ingram, Dawkins, out of Georgia. Cam Jackson has gone from Florida to the Panthers, and then the Ravens going with Carson Benson out of Alabama A&M. The next pick for the Cowboys is the 12th pick in this round. 149 overall. They'll be picking 2 spots after the 49ers. I mentioned this is where we believe we're going to see. I think this is where the first time we get a chance to see Taj Brooks go. Jalen Conyers possibility. Rodgers goes yesterday. The dominant story, and I guess it's still on ESPN front page. Yeah, there it is on ESPN.com front page. Sanders still on the board as draft 3 gets rolling. That became the dominant theme on ESPN coverage with Mel Kiper back on Thursday night. He couldn't believe he fell out of the top 5. He couldn't believe he went undrafted. Everybody has passed on him. You can give us your thoughts, your theories. I have mine. I think part of this is the fact that he's just not that great of a quarterback. But it is fascinating, the disconnect. And I don't think we've ever seen anything quite like this on some of the draft analysts on where they had him and where the NFL teams obviously had him. I mean, if they wanted him, if they really thought he was a good quarterback, they would have drafted him. That Tyler Shuck, former Red Raider, goes the number 3 quarterback overall after Cam Ward and Jackson Dart, that it's Tyler Shuck. If I told you guys 3 years ago that Tyler Shuck would be the 3rd one drafted, what would you guys have said? You wouldn't have believed it. You absolutely would not have believed it if I told you that Tyler Shuck from Texas Tech and now Louisville would have been the 3rd quarterback drafted. But I have thoughts on the ESPN coverage of this so far. We will share that with you as we go through. Now we get to welcome in. Hi, I'm Ryan Hyatt, TheRaiderland.com. Jeremiah Friedley, and you said that first, so I did not have to go. Friedley?
Right.
Friedley, yes. All right, you're out here, Christian teen author.
Yes, sir.
The Core series, Core Deception.
Yes, sir.
Or we have to, is it 2 or 3 books now?
It's 2 right now if you include the
Association
prequel.
and the
this is the
prequel.
prequel novella, which is free as an ebook, but can be purchased as print as well. And I'm working on the next one in the series right now.
And this is what we were talking about with Kim earlier, that you guys come out here to the Silver Spur trade show. And I know it says Gun and Blade. There's so much more than that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so your passion for writing, we'll get into that. But your passion for being out here with, I'm going to use this phrase, with our people.
Yes.
With
yes.
people who love the things we love in West Texas.
Yep.
And I noticed on your bio, native Texan.
Yes, sir.
That encompasses a large swath of land. Narrow it down. Be more specific.
Yeah, no, it's West Texas for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Grew up in, born in Midland and grew up around here.
Oh, all right.
So
That's
very much local.
That's about as West Texas as it gets right there.
Yeah.
All right. So Jeremiah, the process of writing a book. First off, you have to decide to do it. What was the motivation, and not just the motivation on the book, but the subject matter and who you're writing for?
Yeah. Well, I've been writing since I was a kid, so that's always like I've been playing around with all kinds of different genres, and
Right.
stuff like that. But at some point, you have to decide, okay, got to narrow this down. It's branding, coaching, and all that kind of thing. And for the longest time, though, teen fiction has always kind of been what I've enjoyed writing. And I guess maybe that's because that's when I became a lover of books, was when I was a teen. And so I think I just kind of never looked back. kept reading, kept writing for that genre. I love that genre. It seems like anytime I dream up a new story, it's featuring some sort of teen character or something like that.
This question is probably not going to come out exactly the way I intended for, but I think you'll understand. How hard is it not to write down to a teenager, to treat them with intelligence and give them credit for knowing what they know and not preaching to?
Yeah.
I guess is what I'm looking for. It's not
Sure.
coming out right, but I think you get what I mean.
Right. Yeah.
That I think some authors, when they start writing for teen or children, they don't give them credit for what they're able to process and really the level they can operate at.
Yeah, great question, and that is definitely a danger, I think, for any author of teen fiction. As much as I can, I try to really just put myself back into what things were like for me as a teen, and just kind of hang out in that mindset as much as I can, as weird as that may sound.
Yeah.
But that's how you get into character, and then honestly, really more than whether it's a teen or not, is how well can the author really immerse themselves in the character that they are creating for that story, whether it's a senior citizen, an 8-year-old, or a teenager, and so.
Tell folks about this series and the 30,000-foot view of what they're going to find when they immerse themselves in the world.
Yeah, so imagine America somewhere down the road, maybe not too far in the future. There's been a global ice age, and this has basically forced nations to take drastic action to try to save populaces and that kind of thing. So and to get into core deception and then into association as well, which comes before core deception. Both of those are in Hawaii during the ice age.
Okay.
So, but part of the way they're able to survive there is, this tells you how bad the ice age is they get like 3 weeks out of the year that it gets above freezing. And so the government basically says, hey, we've got to have complete control over all the economy, everything, education, more like you would see in communist China right now,
right.
Really. And that's where some of these characters in this book come along and say, actually, no, we can't, you are encroaching on my freedoms. you're about to put my sister into a re-education facility. We can't do this.
Sadly, 5 years ago, we saw how quickly governments can act and move in that way, and what some people are willing to trade for a false sense of security.
And that's actually kind of what birthed this series. It was during that COVID 2020 pandemic. Part of it was like, okay, I feel like we're almost living in dystopia. And so these dystopian series, that world was fairly easy to start thinking about. At the same time, it was kind of a freaky, scary time for me. And so as a Christian, I'm like, why am I feeling this fearful? I shouldn't feel that way if I believe what the Bible has to say.
Exactly.
And so that's also the challenge that came out of that. Was it's kind of like God was saying, okay, you need to figure this out. What's going on, and how should a Christian truly deal with this?
Is this told through the eyes of the main character or an overall narrative?
Yeah, it's told through the eyes of Seth. For this one right here,
Hi, Seth.
for Deception, and he's 17 years old, and he's a Christian, but he's faced with these challenges of what do I do when something really fearful is facing me, as you can imagine, in any dystopian environment. And then the prequel, it's told through the eyes of a Christian, and they're friends. You see both characters in both books.
I love visiting with writers after a book is done and talking about the process of how it came together. Obviously, you begin not sometimes not with the end in mind even, but with the idea of we're going to go down this road. Have these books written themselves? Did they take you on a journey, or did you take the book to a destination?
It's probably some of both. Yeah. I started out thinking, okay, this is probably what the story is going to be. And then as I got in there and started trying to write it, something would kind of take off on its own, go a direction I didn't anticipate. And then it's like, oh, wow, okay, I didn't know that was going to happen. In fact, that's kind of what birthed this prequel. Was I was working on the novel, and one of the what was going to just be background information in that novel just really grabbed my attention. I was like, man, I would love to dig into this and explore this more. And so I decided to tell that story with the prequel.
Do you get feedback more from parents or more from the teenagers?
I'd say 50-50. Yeah. I definitely hear from the teens, or if you can get the teens, if they're willing to be, send an email to an author, which can be a little scary for some of us, then those seem to be some of the most enjoyable interactions, just because they'll really tell you a lot about the book and how much they liked it. And then the parents will definitely jump in there too and say, hey, here's what was fun. Here was, my kid just ate this book up and knocked it out in 2 days or something like that. So,
yeah, I mean, it's got to be really, flattery is probably not the right word, empowering to get feedback. And almost humbling, I would think, when you hear from somebody who, said, I love this book, or this book really spoke to me, or I was able to give this to my teenager and they loved it. What is that like for you as an author, as a person?
Yeah, it's super encouraging when I get to hear from readers how well they liked it and everything like that. So that, if you've read a book and you thought, should I maybe tell the author I liked it? Absolutely.
Yes.
Do that. Please do that. Please email them. Authors, I've never heard of an author who did not like hearing from their readers. So, but yes, it is humbling too. It is like, wow, okay, so God worked that through me. It's like, wow, that wasn't me, that was Him. Praise Him.
All right, so you're going to be here today and tomorrow.
Yes,
how many of these shows do you do? Do you like going to shows like this?
Well, these actually were both just published back in February, and so I'm just now kind of figuring out selling in person. So this is my first
cool.
Silver Spur trade show, but I've really enjoyed interacting with readers. I've already sold several books and everything, so I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of the show goes, and then potentially, visit, be there every time they come to Lubbock.
Tell the folks about your website, how they can get a hold of you, how they can get those books in their hands.
Yes, absolutely. Go to jeremiahfriedli.com, and that's Jeremiah and FRIEDLI.com, and you can buy both books there, ebook version, print versions. Or if you prefer from a different retailer, I've got a link there that gives you all your favorite retailers to buy books.
See, y'all come out, buy some books. That way you can buy a few more things on the way out of here today, because I needed to hide my ATM card. I told Kim, I was like, my goodness. You walk out of here and oh my, we had a lot of stuff going on. It was a pleasure to meet you. I hope we cross paths again.
Yes, sir.
In the near future. I wish you well.
Awesome.
On the series and everything else.
Thank you.
Thanks for being out here. Give him a holler, Jeremiah. All right, we're rocking and rolling. We gonna talk some knives?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Bring them on in. Come on in, sir.
Oh, okay.
We are at the Silver Spur Gun and Blade Show. Ryan Hyatt's Raiderland, a Saturday broadcast. And don't worry, you're not missing any Tech baseball today. They pushed back till 2. Softball's at 3. And I haven't been drafted yet, unless my wife calls me and tells me I got drafted in the NFL draft. Kelly Mormon, everybody.
How are you?
Nice. I was watching you work over there. You were busy doing your thing over there. Black stock and blade, custom knives, knife sharpening. The official knife sharpener here of the Silver Spur Gun and Blade Show. Thanks for hanging out with us today. All right. How many shows have you worked with Kim over the years now?
Oh, I was saying about that earlier. I think I've been doing her shows now for about 13 years.
Oh, wow.
Here, Midland, and I've done 2 shows in Africa.
I was, looking at some of your custom knives and everything. I like the one with the trout down there at the end. What was that, bird and trout? I'm trying to remember which one. But let's go all the way back to the beginning for you. When did you get involved making knives? When did you go from hobby to I want to do this? Or if it ever was a hobby, maybe it was just I want to do this.
No, it still kind of is a hobby to me. I started making knives about 18 years ago. And started out like as a hobby, and like I said, I still kind of consider it a hobby. I was a firefighter here in Lubbock for 30 years.
All right.
So, retired, started doing this more.
Inspiration though? Did anyone get you into this?
Not really.
Or was just like a lot of us around here? You grow up, you like knives, you
I've
get
always
knives.
liked
And
knives.
this is kind of
I
cool.
use knives a lot. I guess you'd say I was a carpenter by trade, and then I also did a lot of metalworking over the years. So this is kind of a combination of putting these together and being a little more creative.
Is your workshop here in town? Here in Lubbock?
Yeah, I have a workshop.
All right. How you've got one on the table here. Hold that one up and show it to them. A little higher there onto the screen. There we go.
This is what I call my version of a trapper, which is a 2-blade trapper. Be careful with it. It's
Yeah,
very
I'm
sharp.
letting you handle it. I don't want to violate any of Kim's rules today. Awesome. That knife right there, start to finish. How many hours of hard work?
You're probably looking with the heat treat process and everything, somewhere between 30 to 40 hours.
That's a work week for a lot of folks. That's a full week's of work, one blade. And when you start off with the design, I love the handles. The blades are great. That's what makes a knife. But the cool part to me, the design on the handles. Does that come from whatever you're working with, and it expresses itself out, and it's already in there, and that's what it's going to look like? Or do you have some pieces in mind that I want to make it look like this? And you go that way.
Generally speaking, of course, the knife design, I have patterns for different folders and different fixed blades, so that's kind of already preset. But usually, I don't pick the handles out until I get ready to put them on, and I just kind of, whatever strikes me is what I put on.
Right.
I've got antler, I've got giraffe bone, I've got mammoth ivory, I've got mammoth tooth, all kinds of wood, and so I just kind of go over and look through, and whatever strikes me that day is
what it's going to turn into and what you're going to do. How can folks get a hold of you if they want to go to the work? I mean, if they can't make it out here, we've got a lot of people watching around the region, that might not be in town today.
I have a website. It's called blockstockblade.com. I have cards. Generally here in town, if I'm in town, I'm usually around the shop, so people just call me and come by.
Yeah. And you set up down to our left a little bit, and folks come out, they can bring their knives, sharpen them up for them, maybe help them find a new one that they just can't live without. The very dangers of coming out here today. It's not what you thought you wanted, it's what you didn't know you wanted until you got here. It makes these things fun. But how many of these do you go to a year?
I've kind of cut back. I was doing 8 or 10 shows a year, and I'm only doing the Lubbock shows right now.
When you go around, like it's not like who are your heroes, but who are some of the guys in the industry that you've gotten to know maybe over the years? I would figure it's probably a fairly close-knit group of people who make it. Like, it's just like making custom jewelry. There aren't a lot of folks around who do this and create this. Did you draw upon some of their experiences? Were there some that you looked at and said, hey, how do you do that?
Most of the knife makers that I would say I've studied through or whatever are no longer around. There is one particular knife maker in Amarillo, he's helped me out some, and still today, if I run into a problem, I'll call Robert. Through it. But it's kind of saying a lot of the really known knife makers that did quality work are no longer with us.
Well, that's one way to eliminate the competition, sadly. But we're glad you're here. We're glad you're out here at the Silver Spur Trade Show, the Gun and Blade Show at Lubbock Civic Center. keep wanting to throw Memorial in there, but I don't think they use Lubbock Memorial Civic Center anymore, and a lot of folks wouldn't even know what I'm talking about if we did. Have you? How often does this happen? You get done making a knife, and you look at it and go, "I can't sell that." Does that ever happen? That you go, "I just love this so much, I'm going to keep it." I would have a hard time parting with some of those.
Not so much anymore. Now, I will tell you this: when I come up with a new pattern, I generally keep the first one. Okay?
Right. Go from there.
And that's kind of something I'm gonna leave for my kids when they sell them at the garage sale. I don't think so. Really.
Probably not. I want to thank you for hanging out and visiting with just a
Thank
few
you.
minutes. Kelly Mormon, everybody's out there, block, stock, and blade. Right as you come in, just to your left, right there, prime position. And going to be here obviously today and tomorrow. So swing on out here and visit with Kelly. Thanks again so
Thank
much.
you.
We'll see you soon. All right. All right. We continue. They're everywhere. Guests are everywhere. Kim is doing a great job today. And joining us now, it's Rick Decker out of Amarillo, RAD Designs, or as some might say, RAD.
Yeah,
I'm Ryan Hyde. It's nice to meet you.
Rick Decker.
And I like people who bring samples over, and we can kind of show that and everything else. So, RAD Designs, jewelry of all kinds, including turquoise, as we see.
Yes.
I'll ask you what I've asked our author and our custom knife maker. Why and what got you into this? How did this happen?
I've
Let's
always
scoot over just a little bit. We got to get in tight here.
All right.
We're going to pretend like we've known each other 25 years and just got done having lunch.
I've always liked jewelry and stones and different things, so I just kind of naturally fell into it. I've been doing Silver Spur shows for 20 years now.
Very
I
cool.
was with her even before it was Silver Spur.
Well, that's why I asked her how many vendors out here, were original vendors when the incarnation of what we call now the Silver Spur. So
Yeah.
you're one of the ones.
Yes.
You need
I'm
a
one of those.
badge. There needs to be an award that, the originals can wear.
Oh yeah. Watch out. Because we're all getting old and cantankerous these days.
I prefer seasoned and experienced.
Seasoned
And
works.
cantankerous works pretty good too. All right, so show off some of the pieces you brought over here. Tell them a little bit about it and how they come to creation or fruition.
All right.
All of this starts as an idea in your brain, in your mind, and then it expresses itself through your hands and your work.
It does. This piece here
Hold it up a little bit higher there. There we go.
is
I know it's a mirror there.
carved bone and antler. I have a wide selection of these. This particular one's carved out of antler.
That's
And
pretty
it's a
cool.
pendant. I carry those. I carry a lot of sterling silver and stone pendants.
Beautiful.
I do specialize mainly in vintage silver handmade pieces. I do make some of the pieces.
See, and you're gonna.
This here is a turquoise butterfly pendant.
I know a friend of mine, his wife needs that, by the way. Send him out here tomorrow. You just used the term vintage silver.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know anything about making jewelry.
Well, the
What
vintage
would that mean? What does that entail?
is a vintage piece.
Okay.
I carry a lot of 1970s Navajo, Zuni,
okay.
Native American
Okay.
pieces.
So we're talking an era
Yes.
of an era of jewelry, an era of work.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
I have everything from 1900s on up to modern.
Oh goodness. Oh wow.
Like this is a more modern piece here. It's a bracelet done in sterling silver black rhodium with opals, tourmalines, small diamonds.
Gorgeous. The light. We don't have enough light here for it to truly shine the way it would if we had a little bit more light coming in on it. Folks get a truer version of
I
that.
carry some vintage gold pieces.
Indeed. I see. I'm learning all sorts of stuff today. The vintage silver era.
I can.
Is there one style that's harder to work with or work in, or one stone or one metal or anything that is more challenging than another?
They vary. They really do vary. Opals are hard to work with because they're softer. Certain other stones with other hardnesses aren't
Right.
as bad.
A little more malleable.
Some people like working with the silver more, some with the gold. This piece here is one I designed.
That is cool.
And a silversmith friend put it together for me.
Awesome.
And
Show 'em some of the turquoise. As we go back to 1970 and the cowboys dressing like Indians and the Indians dressing like cowboys.
okay, here's a fairly typical Navajo
Right.
piece from the 70s, early 80s.
And that's the era when I think of turquoise, right or wrong, and I've spent a ton of time in northern New Mexico, so that's when I begin to think of that era.
There's one that's a little plainer, and as you can see, it's a good size stone.
Yeah, that'll get some attention.
The natives don't always use turquoise. They've also used lapis.
Which is just an absolutely beautiful color of blue right there. And there's a depth to that color.
But here's an amylite fossil pendant.
Amylite. Where do we find amylite? There are a lot of amylite lying around here?
No, it's ammonite.
Ammonite. Okay.
It is a fossil, and they're found in a lot of different regions. But it is actually a sea creature
Oh,
fossil.
there you go. Okay, I see it now. I can see the shell nature of it. Like I said, folks, we come out here, we learn things. Going to school again.
This will give you an
There you
idea
go.
of some of the various things
That's perfect right there. Yeah.
I sell. I've got some men's rings in there. I've got some of the turquoise and vintage, some of the newer bling.
Hope my wife is not watching right now. It's going to get a very expensive day.
I in the ring sizes, I have things from 2.5 on up to about, I think my biggest one right now is a 14.
Right.
And
What do you like about doing these shows? It's got to be fun to
Meeting the
get out.
people.
Yeah, I was about to say.
yeah, I have met a whole lot of interesting people, made a lot of friends at these shows over the years, and it's been a lot of fun to do.
Do you have a workshop that people can go to in Amarillo? Is it?
I
don't say open to the public, but you know what I mean. That they can
Yeah.
visit you at.
Yeah, I have a room at my house, a work room, but mainly I just do shows anymore.
Gotcha.
I am on Facebook, RAD Designs Amarillo, and I post which shows I'm going to. I post different things I've gotten new, different things I've made on that site.
When it comes to creating a single piece, how long from when you begin to visualize it, you go, I've got this to work with, to when it's done? And that's probably a loaded question because I'm sure the answer is it depends and they're all different.
It does depend, and they're all different, but say I'm making a pretty simple necklace and I've got the idea already in my head, I can usually do it within about a 15-minute.
Does a piece ever change from when you start working on it, what you thought it was going to be, to what it ends up being? That all of a sudden it just tells you, no, I want to be this.
It does to a certain degree. That happened more back when I silversmithed.
Right.
I haven't been doing the silversmithing myself anymore. But
Because I look at all artistry that way, that whether you're painting or whether you're making custom knives or jewelry or anything, that
well,
I think that a lot of times the piece will speak to you, not me because I'm horribly non-talented, but for people like you with great insight, vision, that it fascinates me how that process works itself out.
well, I know especially with jewelry, when you're doing your metal work and such, if your solder work isn't pretty, your finished design isn't pretty. And so that's kind of why I had to quit my solder work. It got bad.
I understand.
But I try to look and find handcrafted pieces. As I said, I do make some of my pieces. But I look for the artist doing things.
Were there jewelers or artisans or craftsmen that inspired you, that when you were first beginning, that you looked at them and said, I want to do something not exactly like this, but that inspired you to go, I want to to make creations like this?
I just kind of naturally
It was just there.
fell into it.
Interesting.
I mean, I like the stones. I like different beads. I like different cabochons, and I just kind of went from there.
It's fantastic. I, again, am blown away by the talent. Great selection out here. Pardon me. Rick Decker going to be out here today. What time do we stop today? I can't remember what time.
It stops at 5
5
today,
o'clock.
and it's at 10 to 5 tomorrow.
10 to 5 tomorrow. I'll be out here both days. I know they had some weather up in your neck of the woods. My son goes to WT, and they had a couple of tornado warnings down that way. So hope you
Just
guys
missed
did.
my house.
Okay, I was hoping you guys didn't have anything too squirrely up there last night.
It hit a neighborhood very close to
Oh my.
where I live.
Yeah, he said, and he's not one to get too excited about much as a college kid. He said it was a little attention getting last night when those sirens went off. So I'm glad you guys are okay, but we're feeling bad for everybody who took some damage last night. I know when the sun came up, some people had a not so great experience.
Yeah, my phone kind of lit up this morning.
Good
'cause
deal.
A lot of people know where I live and that it was close to
Tracking
where
on
I
you.
was.
Good deal. It's so nice to meet you.
Very
I look
nice to
forward to
meet you.
visiting with you again sometime soon. We'll probably be back here at the next show or two. All right.
All right,
All
thank
right.
you.
Come see him, Rick Decker. Everybody. Rad Designs. RAD. Rad. Very. That's kind of cool. Like the 1980s. You know, we're all coming back. Let's come on. Jump on in here. We've got another 20 minutes or so left out here today, so we got plenty of time to bring on some guests. We'll have Kim back before we finish out. So we're at the Silver Spur Gun and Blade Show, Silver Spur Trade Show, Ryan Heights, Raiderland. A rare Saturday, not in the Raiderland World headquarters, but out and about with the people, and we are having a great time. Please welcome in Craig Mattingly, Trauma Eagle Products. I was walking by where you guys are set up over there before we went on. To say first aid kits is doing a disservice to everything you have over there. But
yes, it is.
It is a complete disservice, and that's what's cool about these shows. That people hear gun and blade, and they think, oh, it's just going to be nothing but guns. They're like, well, we're proving today with visiting with everybody from authors to custom jewelry, and now you guys. So a lot of people out here hunt, camp,
Yes.
fish like me, and things can go bad quickly. You guys are here to help.
So-
Let's talk about some of the products y'all have at Trauma Eagle.
Sure. Well, we start out with, we have all sorts of medical kits. We start very simple. A lot of the work that we do is with police office departments, fire
Right.
departments, EMS. And so we kind of gear our kits toward those specific areas. There are several departments that carry our kits, and they come to me and they say, this is what we want. So we kind of develop a kit specifically for that department. Of course, we also sell to the general public. A lot of the public is trained either former military or former EMS,
Right.
former, and so a lot of people come in, they know what they want. And the thing that we try to provide is a way to customize the kit for what you need. Instead of going on there and just ordering a kit online and then getting a lot of one thing, but not really what you need.
Yeah, and you just nailed it on the customization part. So, if I'm out fly fishing and I'm hiking, 5-10 miles, I want to carry something, but I don't want to be carrying
A lot
a
of
huge heavy pack. So in the
Exactly.
past, I've had to just winnow down and go, what will keep me alive for the next 20 hours, maybe if something weird happens.
right.
So from that standpoint, I guess you can tailor it to hunters. You can
Yeah.
tailor it to fishermen. You
really
can,
can.
or even just what you might need. We drive around a long ways out here in West Texas.
That's right.
I'm amazed sometimes how few people have something in their vehicle
Mhm.
going around that that is a first aid kit. You put
Right.
things like that together.
Exactly.
Everything but changing the tires.
That's right. So we do that. We call it instead of build a bear, build your kit.
Right.
And that's a lot of my business is people come up and they'll say, I like this, but I don't. And so we'll start over and build a fully customized kit, and they feel much better about their product. I go over each item with them.
Oh, that's the other idea. Wow, how does this actually work?
Yes. We do a lot of teaching, a lot. Because somebody will come up and say, well, I've heard about a tourniquet, but I've never put one on. Well, come in, let me show you how.
Yeah.
It's easy. One of the things that is out nowadays is called, it's hemostatic goggles.
Mhm.
Well, there's a lot of information out there and people haven't heard of it. And a lot of people have heard of Quick Lock and Cell Lots and these others. Well, there's some new products out there. We've done all that research and we've brought in those new products. And so now we can educate those people to make a better informed decision about what's in their kit. That way, when they actually use it, they feel more confident.
Yeah, it's funny. I almost needed Trauma Eagle products this morning, getting ready, shaving, and tried to
Yes.
cut my lip without paying attention. Like, huh,
Right.
that's going to bleed for a while.
That's gonna
Yeah,
be-
just
that's
stick my
right.
finger up there.
Right.
If I'd had a trauma kit, we could have made it
Sure.
a lot quicker. So people come out today or tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
Can y'all customize here? Can you
Yes.
build that and
Yes,
put that, and
I
they
do.
can walk out with
I-
whatever they need today?
I hand build every kit, and so you can walk up and you can pick out the color you want, you can pick out the tourniquets you want, you can pick out the bandages you want, and if you don't want all the what I call the boo-boo stuff,
Right.
We don't put that in. You know, a lot of guys will come in and say, "I've got this, I just need this," and we can do that. We can get you that.
You know, we got a lot of folks watching. They're probably outside the immediate area. Maybe they can't get here today or tomorrow, but they're interested in the product.
Mhm.
Where can they go? What can they do to get you guys hooked up?
They can go to my website, which is traumaeagleproducts.com. In fact, the website was designed by a local here in Lubbock. So, that's great to use somebody here locally.
Fantastic.
I am from the Dallas area. And I
Well,
do
nobody's
drive
going to
up
hold that against you.
here. Right. But I go all over the state. I go to Houston, Austin, here in Lubbock, Fort Worth. So we do go quite a few places. And our kids are, I've heard our kids go all the way to Alaska, to Germany, to California, Colorado. A lot of guys come to me and say, "Hey, we're going to Iceland to go fishing. I want to take your kid." So
Yeah.
our kids have had a wide-reaching appeal.
Well, and even just around the house, and we mentioned we were visiting with Rick Decker a second. They had some tornadoes up around Amarillo. We've seen some severe weather. Heaven forbid you're at home and something happens,
Right.
and you can't get to a doctor, and the doctor can't get to you immediately.
That's right.
It's things like this at home that can make the difference. And I'm not trying to be dramatic about it. I'm not trying to oversell on fear or anything, but that's just the reality we live in.
That's true. And the state of Texas years ago has started the Stop the Bleed program. It's a really great program. It's gone into schools and things like that. And that's what they're really concentrating on is that immediate first aid, first initial treatment.
And
so with these kids, if you're confident, then yes.
there's another great idea for you teachers out there to have one of these in your classroom. I know your school probably has them, your nurse probably has them, but heaven forbid when kind of seconds count, you know how to do it. Things like that can help.
You'd be amazed how many people come to me and
Or
they'll
on the
say,
playground.
yes, exactly. They'll come to me and they'll say, "Hey, I'm on the response team for my church."
Okay, yeah.
I have had so many people come to me from churches that say we need something for our church, and so that's been a big.
That's cool.
Big thing coming.
That's great to meet you. Craig
You too.
Mattingly,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Trauma Eagle Products, check it out. Back over that way. Where were we?
We're back.
Back a little to the
back
right.
at the mid.
Yeah.
Back in there.
All right. It's easy to find. It's one big room. You get in
That's
here,
right.
they'll find you. Thanks for coming out.
Thanks, sir.
We appreciate it.
You.
Have fun today. Have fun tomorrow. And we've got more coming up as we're hanging out here at the Lubbock Civic Center. A rare Saturday broadcast out of the worldwide headquarters. You're not missing anything Texas Tech-wise today. They are in rain delay protocol. Softball scheduled for 3 o'clock today against Arizona State. And you guys know the drill. If Tech wins 1, they clinch the Big 12 title as a share. If they win 2 in this series, they are a Big 12 champions under Jerry Glasgow, first-year head coach. Baseball, on the other hand, I believe still on track for 2 o'clock. I think we're 15 minutes away from getting that underway. And they've got Arizona, white-hot Arizona in here. And they just are looking for some positiveness right now. Come on in. Have a seat. Kim, you're amazing. Guest after guest today. This has been a lot of fun. All right, sneak on in. We're going to pretend like we've known each other for 25 years, even as I meet, is it Catlin Barraza?
Barraza, yes,
There
sir.
you go. Country Time Arms.
Yes, sir.
You have my attention. And not just from the muscular
No,
arms there, but all right, tell us what you got out here at the Gun and Blade Show and what you're featuring.
We have a booth, some firearms. We brought some of our custom work. We do a lot of Cerakoting. Brought some custom builds. We also manufacture. So a little bit of everything.
What are your favorite weapons that you guys put together that you like?
Bolt actions. I like the accuracy. It's a challenge, You never know. We follow all the tolerances and stuff, but
Right.
Every barrel is different. So and configuration is different with actions and stocks. And stuff.
So does that mean a little bit of an older style look, a vintage look, or just a modern take on the older old bolt action rifle?
I'd say a modern take. 90% of what we build is off the modern actions, the modern stocks.
Okay.
Every
I didn't
once
know
in
if it was a
while.
retro feature. You know,
We can do retro. We
Yeah.
can, but not many in today's time. Not many go after that.
no one looking for a new Garand these days, I guess.
Not as much.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
You know,
It
it
is.
did its job for
It did.
many a decade.
They're
How'd you get
still
involved
good.
in this?
I've always
what
been
got
in
you
it.
as a passion?
I've always done it, and I just in 2013 I just took it to the next level.
Really?
And
So,
say, you know,
did it go from hobby to this?
yes,
Or okay,
hobby. Yes,
was that intimidating at all?
it was. It was very intimidating. Just to get started at that time was hard, and you know, with the what was going on at that time, firearms were hard to get into
Right.
and stuff. So.
For those who don't remember, there was a guy named Barack Obama, and well, it's in all the history books. You can
It is.
you
It
can
is.
find it. And thankfully, things are beginning to turn around just a little bit.
It is.
Thankfully, how many of these shows do you do?
We do about 35 a year.
Golly, that's like a lot.
It is.
You're on tour more than the Stones. What? So if you do that many, you gotta like it. What
I
do you
do.
enjoy about these shows the most? I mean, I look around. We got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people in
It
here.
is. It's the customers. You know, I've been doing this 14 years, or
Yeah.
going on 15. So you get familiar with the faces. I've seen kids grow up. The gun show family too is very welcoming.
So if somebody brings like their own rifle out here, can you do custom work on that
Not
for them?
we
Not here,
can,
but I mean, not here,
yeah.
obviously.
Yes.
But I'm saying they can bring to you, hey, I've got this piece. I'd really like maybe to do a little something different with it,
Yes, yes, sir.
or you know, just customize it to the shooter.
Yes,
It's-
we can definitely.
you know, and that's something that I don't think a lot of people understand when it comes to guns and rifles and anything else. It's just like a golf club to me.
Yeah,
That
I don't do golf,
you-
but
well,
I know you got to
that-
custom
that-
fit it.
Well, and it's got to fit you. It's got to fit the person.
It does.
And sadly, it doesn't always work that way for some
It
people.
doesn't.
And then they get frustrated and they don't like it, or they think there's something wrong with the gun. No.
And
It's
that's
just better
whole
being in
part
the
of-
right gun.
That's the whole part of doing the custom bolt actions, and we do custom pistols, ARs. You know, we make it to your liking.
Absolutely.
Yes,
It's nice to meet you.
yes sir.
I appreciate it running over, taking away from your space there for a
That's
little
all
bit.
right.
All right, go sell some
All right,
stuff.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We got just a few more minutes left out here. Let's bring Kim back in and finish up with her today, because we've had a great run of folks making their way through. Crowd's just getting bigger and bigger. I think the rain's done for the day.
Yes, but
I
you
think
know.
we're clearing out now, so you guys can jump in your vehicle. You've been sitting at home and go, hey, let's go. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
And it never rains inside the Civic Center.
No, it
Well, I
does
mean,
not.
years ago the roof kind of leaked sometimes, but they fixed it.
Yeah, they did.
I'm pretty sure. All right. And the people we've been visiting with today, they echo one thing, and that's the people. That's what they love about this as much as anything, of the people. Is that one of the things that still drives you?
Oh,
The people and just
absolutely.
walk, I mean, you know, walking around and looking. Hey, folks, everybody out here is happy. Everybody
Yeah.
out here is in a good mood.
Yeah, look at all the smiles.
Everybody out here looks you in the eye, says hi, says howdy. You can start visiting with somebody anyway. I mean, this to me is the heart and soul and the best of what West Texas is. And I use the term all the time called West Texas is the best Texas.
Yes.
And that's to me what I love about things like this.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, like he talked about the gun show family. You know, we do become a family out here, and we do interact with so many customers, meet them and talk to them, and we look forward to, you know, when we go to a certain town, seeing those certain people. And we have customers that follow us to every single town we go to, and God bless them, we love them and appreciate them and appreciate their presence and support.
What would you tell somebody who maybe they're trying to take something from a hobby to a little bit more? They've got a product that they think would fit in, but they've never done anything like this. What would you tell them? How do they approach y'all? How do they contact y'all? And, you know, find out is an event like this right for me, maybe?
Right?
Because if you've never done it, I got to think it's kind of intimidating.
It is very intimidating and it's scary, but you don't know until you try. And you know what? If we don't all make it or whatever, it's okay too. But you don't know until you try. It might be a winner.
Yep.
And sometimes it's finding the right place for
Exactly.
it. So, and some people have been surprised at where they do good. Like we have a lot of women that shop the Native American jewelry and stuff that come to the shows. And we have, obviously, you saw one of our vendors that he does deal in that stuff, and he has a lot of return customers because of it, because they really shop it out.
So do they go to your website and contact you there if they
Yes.
want to become a vendor? Is that the easiest
Website,
way?
call, Facebook, Messenger. You know, we're on social media, so
Is there a wait list to get in,
it
or
depends on what show.
on which show and
it
when?
is.
How,
and when.
how early did these fill out as far as the vendors? Like you, I mean, obviously you got a schedule of shows coming up. We'll tell them about that before we get out here today. But like, how early are people booking spots with you?
When we leave tomorrow, we'll have at least half of this show full.
Oh, wow.
Or more. And it, you know, it depends on the time of the year, because some of the times of the year we fill up faster or more at one show to the next than others. And then we have some shows we'll leave and we're 90-95% full for
Gotcha.
the next show.
Well, let's talk about the upcoming shows.
Okay.
And I had that schedule up on the website earlier. Now I lost
got
it. So I hope you've got it up there today, because I know you got a lot of other stuff going on.
Yeah. We are in Odessa May 31st, June 1st, and then we are in Midland July 12th and 13th, San Angelo July 19th and 20th, and we're back here July 26th and 27th.
Very good. So if you guys are watching out there in those areas and you're getting a little bit jealous of everything that's going on here in Lubbock, and I don't blame you, everybody should be jealous of Lubbock and everything that goes on here. You've got the schedule, you know what's going to be going on. What else do we need to tell them before we kind of wrap up and get on down the road here today?
Right, yeah. Like us on Facebook, Silver Spur Trade Shows, and you can always visit our website, silverspurbenchshows.com.
There you go. And I've seen at least, I don't know, 7 or 8 people I know out here today that are having a good time. And one of them, I'm surprised he didn't try to worm his way onto the broadcast. And I'm not even talking about Chad Hasty today. I'm not even talking about
That's
Chad,
because
because he's busy on his doing his thing right now. Yes, you may ask a question.
Okay, thank you. How often do y'all put on the gun shows here?
We are
Yeah,
here
perfect
4
timing.
times. We are here 4 times a year.
4 times a year. Okay. What if somebody wanted to be a vendor? What would they need to do?
We're laughing because we literally were just
We
talking
just
about this.
talked
Okay. Okay. Good.
So this is great.
Good.
Yeah, so you can go to our website, but if you know what shows you're interested in, you can talk to us here or call us on the phone,
Okay.
and we'll see what we're, you know, if we're full or not, and let us know what you sell.
Okay. Okay.
What do y'all charge?
The tables are 8 foot and $65 for the weekend.
That's it.
And over by the green registration flags, you can get your information also.
Okay. Great. We might head over there then.
Awesome.
Thank you so
Fantastic.
much.
Glad you're out here.
Thanks.
Let the record show I did not plan that. I did not plan that.
That was awesome. Like, there you go. You got to see what I do all weekend.
That's it. Thanks again for having us out.
Thank you
Got a couple
so
more
much.
minutes. We're going to wrap it up, and
Yeah.
then we're going to walk around and see what kind of trouble we can get into.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you do that, and I really appreciate you being out here.
Thanks again, Kim.
It was great.
Kim Sansom, everybody. Come see her. Come say hi. If you're watching us today, you can still get out here up until 5 o'clock today. And obviously tomorrow, same drill, same time, as we are still minutes away from Tech baseball. We have the NFL draft going on in softball. Looking to see what the Cowboys did. Jaden Blue out of the University of Texas, running back. We said we were drifting into Taj Brooks territory. And I don't see Taj Brooks, but we have Shadur Sanders has been drafted with the 144th pick. Our long national nightmare is over. The Cleveland Browns have taken him in the 5th round. The Cleveland Browns, who I think had taken another quarterback earlier in the draft. Not sure. We'll double check on that. So we got a lot of stuff coming up here over the next couple of days. We'll have Diamond Talk for you tomorrow afternoon, evening, when Texas Tech wraps up their series against Arizona, and when softball wraps up. Hopefully we'll be talking about a Big 12 championship for Texas Tech softball when this weekend is done. We'll be able to look at all the Red Raiders who got drafted. We will have our Sunday column ready for you in the morning. 5 things we know on a Sunday. Not 3, that's too few. Not 7, that's far too many. But 5 things that we know on a Sunday will be coming to you in the morning. I want to thank everybody out here at the Silver Spur Trade Show. It's really cool for us to be a part of the 20th year celebration from 05 to 2025 out here at the Lubbock Civic Center. And we look forward to being back out here in some of the shows coming up this later this spring and summer. I want to thank Kim Sansom and her staff for making this so easy for us today, and everything they've done over the last few weeks helping us get out here and be a part of the program. Thanks, you guys, for dropping in. I hope you had as much fun as I did. I know it's a little bit different from some of the things we do in Raiderland, but that's one of the things we pride ourselves on. We like to do things just a little bit different than some of the other folks do. We want to thank our great sponsors like United Supermarkets on the chat line, Middleton and Son, the best in farm and ranch realty in this region and well beyond outside the great state of Texas. Enjoy the afternoon. Pray for more rain, and we will see you tomorrow in Raiderland. And check out the website, theraiderland.com.